everyone, welcome to my channel, Ashley's Treasure, and I think I am finally done with this little Peter Rabbit book, or journal. I've been on this way too long. I need to get done with this. I think I finally finished it up, but here is going to be a flip through, so let's begin. First, here's the cover. If you don't remember, this was very beat up. There was markers, or not markers, but ink pressed in. We can kind of see where the where that was pressed in, where it was written on, but I showed how to remove that. All the videos that I did on this will be in the description box below, all the stages that I did and all the tips I did. But anyways, here's the cover, here's the back of it. I used some eyelets to adhere it because this ended up being a crocodile mouth. I did not mean to do that. I actually thought it would be wide enough that I didn't need one, and I just kept adding more and more stuff that it had to be bigger. This is the original spine. I just put some ribbon on here and some lace here on both sides. Underneath it, I did redo this part because I did show a tutorial how I did the spine. But I had to add, because I have two pieces of lace on both sides, and so then it made it go down in between here. So I actually got some white ribbon in between it to help bring that up a little bit. And then I tied all these little buttons, which is in a haul I got where I got a bag full of odds and ends and buttons and stuff, which I'll try adding that in the description box below if I can find that video. It was like a whole giant bag I got for $2.99, I believe, which is actually right here in this giant bag. There was like a bunch of them on the bottom that were matching. I just grabbed a handful. I think I ended up using 9 of them, but I, you know, knotted each one and then glued them on. And I really like the way that looks. I think it's really cute. Again, I end up using eyelets in here because I needed something to help keep it shut. And I end up using these green ones that are right here, which I believe these are We Are Memory Keepers. I wanted to use the yellow, but the yellow was shaped as a star, and I didn't want a star there. So I used the lime green, which I thought kind of went with it, because there's like green here and here. So I did that. And then I used, for the closure, this really nice fabric. And it's got like leaves and nature and stuff on there, and it's like a yellow tone, and I tore it and tied it up, and I think it just looks adorable. And so I'll open that up, and it's strong enough to help keep it shut. But yeah, isn't that pretty? It's got like leaves and stuff on it, nature stuff. And then on the end of one of them, I think it was this one, yeah, it says spring. So I thought that was cute, so I made sure I didn't cut that part off. But yeah, I just did a little crisscross here, nothing fancy, you know. Anyways, here's the first page. I love these rabbits. This I got from Hobby Lobby. They're individual sheets, and I love that bunny, and it ended up working out perfect. Here is the first page. I made a nice little pocket here. This is some pink lace, the like curtains that you put over your windows. Here's some nice scrapbook paper. Here's a fun little tag I made, and I think I put paper that I dyed in the back, and I did a little stamp in the back. Use some lace as a topper. These are really fun. I can't remember if I did a video on this one or not. But yeah, I love how that turned out. So it's a nice cute little pocket here. And then I did this card, which was a bingo card. It was like Lucky Bingo, and I liked because all the cards had this pink and blue going on, and I saw this little guy and I thought he looked great with pink and blue, the little mouse. And so I, you know, fussy cut these flowers out, used the book page, you know, and this white leaves is from one of my die cuts, and he looks perfect on this flower. It looks like he is sitting on a leaf, so it was like it was meant to be. And then these two were from Tim Holtz, and I liked how this butterfly had some blue on it, so it went with it. And yeah, and then I added book page on here and some dyed paper and just kind of like tore it and give that distressed look. I really like that to journal on. That just slides right in here. And then I was having fun with cards. I used the 2 of spades on this one, and this I used that tissue paper that I got for it's in gift wrapping at, I believe it's at Hobby Lobby too, and it looks like old newspaper, and I love that. It makes it so easy. Like, look how cool that looks and how aged it looks, and it like tones down the black a little bit. But I wanted to use this frog, Jay Fisher, the frog, and I thought he was so cute. So I had this scrap piece of fabric, which is what I used to have my signatures in here, the fabric right here. This is a little scrap piece of a flower, and it kind of looked like a lily to me, and that's what I was kind of going for, and that's like on a lily pad, so it looks like he's sitting on that. And so I drew some cattails on there and some grass and some water for him to, he looks like he's fishing, and here's some flies going around for him to catch, and I don't know, that's what I was kind of going for. Looks like he's at the pond fishing. And then this is from a notebook, and I distressed it, and I liked the little design and everything. It has some blue lines, so it goes with like the blue water here. I just absolutely love how this card turned out. I think it's just adorable. I had a lot of fun making that one. And then I made this paper clip, which is off of Tim Holtz. I think this is Field Notes, you know, little embellishments, and I used 2 of them, and then I used just plain old white cardstock inside of it and have the paper clip glued in between them, and so now it's like, it looks like postage stamps on both sides. And I liked this green because it kind of went with the green here, and then there's some blue here, so that's why I put that there. But I had it to hold this, which was one of Tim Holtz dies as well, and this is some pink scrap paper. You can't quite tell, but it's actually like a kind of like a watercolor look paper. And then I stamped, I have one of my corner stamps in here that I really like to use, and I used some colored pencils to color it in, to add some color. It was really fun. This page I end up changing because originally, because you know, it's just the back of the scrapbook paper, it's just white. And so I used some pink distress ink and distressed the edges, and it kind of went with it, but then I ended up not liking it. It was just bugging me. And so I was having so much fun with napkins. I was going napkin crazy. And I found this one that I got actually from, I believe I got this from Party City. Right before they were closing, I got like a bunch of napkins on, you know, reduced because they were getting rid of everything because the one here was closing. And I'm pretty sure that's where I got this one. And I love the way that looks. And I distressed the edges a little bit. And yeah, I love that so much more than how it was before. And then here's my little paper clip. Like so. I'll move this up a little. Here we go. And then here is a very old map. If I remember, this was a map of London, and this is from a very old atlas. It's like, it was in the 1940s. I love this atlas. And it's naturally aged. And then this was the first page of the book. There's a lot of drawing on it, but I had to use the title. So I backed it on some green scrapbook paper, which I used a lot throughout here. And I made this little tag to slide right underneath there. This one I did a tutorial on. I had so much fun with this one. So that will be in the description box below as well. And you know, I just distressed the back of it. I used a lot of antique linen for distressing. Here's a nice fun little pocket. Here's the back of it. And here it just needed something, so I put some lace on here. Here's that green paper. It's the same as the pink paper that I used. But here, this pink is the same as this green. It kind of has that watercolor look to it. This green one I used like crazy. But the same paper I used around here. This is just like a normal card, I think. Yeah, and I used that tissue paper that looks like newspaper around here, and you know, distressed. And these flowers are so fun. Whenever you find these books, you need to stock up on them. And I always have to keep I like using the name of the flower in there. And so since I used this lace for the topper, I used a scrap piece in there, and then I also use the same one so it all goes together. And since this already had this green and green here, and it looked like it went perfect with this daisy. So I love that. So there's a little pocket there, spot to journal. I distressed it, add dyed paper that I coffee dyed, and then I also used my Tim Holtz stencil and added some flowers in there with antique linen, I believe. And then I did that onto here too. I used more Tim Holtz stencils. And then I did this really fun yellow ribbon that I had. I really liked the look of it because it looks like there's like 3 parts sewn in it. I don't know if you can see that in the ribbon. I really like that. And so I used that on all of these pages. These are pages that I coffee dyed as well. These are the grid paper. So all of them have that. And then a lot of them I did more stenciling in the back. This is one of the pages from Better Homes and Gardens. one of the vintage ones, and I took a lot of the pages of the vegetables. I think I took all pages from vegetables and put them in here actually. This one is a portion of the page, like there's still like, I think ink on it, so I couldn't use the whole page. So this, I wanted to use the image, but I couldn't use the whole page as is. So I made a little tag out of it. And again, there's that green paper. This is actually some music note this time, and distressed the edges. I found this nice little lace and I just stapled it on there, which I think I'm debating about taking the staple out and just hand stitching it, you know, sewing it on there. Because I think that'll look better than a staple. I think that I'm going to do that after this. And this was on an index card, nothing fancy, so I just like distressed it a little bit. And then I used the same lace as the topper for on this pocket here. And when I was gluing it down, I used Fabri-Tac glue, which I did not like how it turned out with this lace, because once it dried, it left this, like, it looked wet. And so it looked yucky through here. So I did not like it, because I did here, and then I did it on all the circles on the lace is where I dotted the glue. So it still has some flow to it, you know, still moves. And I did not like how that glue looked. And so I actually punched all these little holes with my crocodile. I used the small one, and I punched all these little holes out on scrap piece of this scrapbook paper, and placed that on top of each of those dots. And I used my art glitter glue this time, and so it's not noticeable because this dries clear. So yeah, I like that a lot more. And I actually used, I think it's up here, yeah, some washi tape. I wanted to see what it looked like, and that actually made it look so much better, just putting that over there, covering where that glue was, and it just flows together better than before. And then since there was 2 holes on this page, because you know the Better Homes and Garden book, they have it's a binder, and so I just got some lace or some thread and made little tassels out of here. I thought that was so cute. And here's the back of it. There's cucumbers. This was already aged like this. I did not distress this. It's just the way it was. The pages are naturally from this journal I got. Here's some more paper I coffee dyed, but actually I tried coffee dyeing, but I was so low on it, it didn't really change the color of the page as much. So I added spray ink, distress spray ink, and it was the walnut stain, and it actually gave a lot of purple in it and some yellow. So these are just plain printer paper. All of these ones I used this lace dye to put on there, and I really like that look. And then this line paper is so cool. It's recycled paper, and the green lines aren't printed with ink. It was something to do with being eco-friendly, and it's actually printed with vegetables that makes that green line, and I thought that was just cool, and it goes with that whole spring Peter Rabbit kind of feel. And then here is a little flap that I made. Take this little Tim Holtz paper clip off. And I just had a fun little collage here with Peter Rabbit. Used some, you know, I found this music note and it said troubles. And so it made me think of Peter Rabbit because he's always up to no good. So I had to make sure that that was showing. I found this fabric lace, which I absolutely love, which I actually used quite a bit throughout here. My favorite paper doily, some scrapbook paper. And this was just ivory cardstock. So yeah, I just distressed it, and so it can just go right on the page. And then I had to have a little something in the back of this too. And each page in the book had these on the corners, which I think I still have one. Yeah, I still have like one page left. Yeah, because of the book. They had these little rabbits on there on each corner of the pages, which was so cute. So I had to fussy cut some of them out and use them. So I put that back. This on top. So cute. And then I did a kind of a pattern because I got 2 signatures in here, and they all kind of have the same pattern going on with the pages. Here's some tracing paper. I did all them in front because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 4 pages that were not drawn on that I could use, that were clear both sides. So, you know, 2 of them, you know, I taped together with washi tape. And so I was able, that's why I did 2 signatures, because I only had 4 pages, so that made 2 signatures. So each one of them, I have this tracing paper to block it, to kind of tone it down as, you know, journaling here. I really like the look of that. And then more coffee dyed paper I dyed. And then this was one of Tim Holtz's collage paper. And, you know, it has all the music notes and everything, which actually the scraps are up here. I was going crazy with these. And I really wanted the birds, but I didn't want all that music note in the back and all the writing and stuff. So I actually fussy cut all these out. And it was actually really therapeutic in a way. I just sat on the couch and was going cut, cut, cut with all these different birds, and I placed them out throughout this journal. But I really like this one, how it looks like it's looking down. It looks like it's looking at Peter Rabbit, which is looking at Mr. McGuire, which is like, you know, working on the garden. So it looks like, you know, it's going down from close down further and further distance. I don't know. I just kind of think it like tied together. I really like the way that looked. Here is, you know, I think this was from like a curtain too. I got from a thrift store. I really like the purples in here. I used this really cute lace on the top to glue it down. So, you know, it's got a little flap and journal. And then this is from an encyclopedia, a garden encyclopedia. I used this a lot throughout this journal. And this page was on garden walls, which I thought would be perfect for this, since, you know, like this picture right here, you know, the wall where he's trying to keep the rabbits out of his garden. So that's what it made me think of, a garden wall. So that's why I used this page in this journal. And then here's the center of it. And each center of them, I punched these little butterflies, and I used some of the scrap of the scrapbook papers that I was using. So like one of them's going to be pink and one's going to be blue. If not, one side will be pink and one side will be blue, one or the other. And I made sure that they were the same exact length. So they're a fun little dangle. Here's a little close up to them. Aren't they so cute? Here's another one of those birds that I fussy cut out. Here's a little tag I made. It's really cute. I love this. Really, this is some antique, really fine ribbon. It's like 1/8 of an inch. And, you know, this is carrots on that garden encyclopedia book that I got. This is a part of Tim Holtz from Field Notes. That little flower is actually one of Maggie Holmes' little stickers. It was just a bunch of random things together. It looked like it tied together. I liked it. And for some reason, I cut a little number and put it on there. It just looked like it meant to be. And that was just a index card. And here's the next page. I tried not to do every single page. I was getting a little carried away with this journal. I think I was making a card and it didn't go out right. And so I cut out a part of it since I wasn't going to use that card, and I ended up making a little tag out of it, and I stamped this bunny, which is so cute. I used some colored pencils and colored it and was having fun, and then I distressed the edges of it and then the back of it as well. And then I have a stencil which is just lines, and so I used my brush and like put it over the stencil to give some faded lines to journal on. I really like that one. How that turned out. Some more pages. And then I didn't think of it till afterwards, but the first one I put those little white tassels I made. Well, I didn't do it on the other pages. I'm debating if I should or not, but all the other ones I decided to put you know, hole enforcements. I got a punch for that, and so I did that on both sides of these pages so something can hang on these. And I thought that'd be really fun. And I used scraps of that green paper, scrapbook paper. I really liked that color. But this part's on squash. And carrots. I had to use that for Peter Rabbit. There's some more stenciling on the grid paper with the white lace. I really like, or not white, yellow ribbon. And then, what's this page? Oh, this is another page of the Atlas book. And I made a little pocket. This is a scrap piece of the fabric that I used to tie the signatures in. It was from a pillowcase, I think. Yeah, I think it's from a pillowcase. And I really like those flowers, so I roughly, very roughly, I wasn't meaning to do this perfect or anything. I wanted it to look rough. So I hand stitched like around it, and I used 2 different colors of lace. I'd used one that was this color and then one that was a little lighter, so it'll tie together. And I don't know if you can see the 2 different colors of the lace that I used, that I stitched on there. But I really liked that. And then I found this tag that had this flower which looks just like it, so it was like it was meant to be, so I had to use that. I distressed it, and then I was doing like a little collage here. This page is from the Garden Encyclopedia. It has like these stains here, and I don't know what caused it. It's very delicate though, so I have to, if I use it, I have to glue them on, because if not it'll chip away. So I don't know if it was like close to something hot and it was gonna start burning, or if it's just something dropped on it and stained it that way. I don't know, but I really like the looks that it gave. This is from pattern paper, some cardstock paper. There's that paper doily I love using. More of those flowers I love using. This little strip right here is actually from the Atlas book, and this is from a scrap piece of the music paper, and it just, so many random things, but it just went. And I used this fun green ribbon. And then I used one of the paint chips that I have. I know you can get it from Walmart or Mize. I can't remember exactly which store, but I liked these pinks because I thought it kind of went with this. And I think, I'm not sure if it looks like the same flower. I don't know if it is or not, but that's the type of flower that it is. And then I used some green cardstock paper that I have, and I thought it kind of went with the color of the stem and the leaves. And I found this green ribbon I thought went well with it, and then, you know, just added some dyed paper and distressed it. It's very sturdy. I think it looks really pretty. It goes with the colors. And here I fussy cut the birds out again. I was just having so much fun. And there's one part I accidentally messed up on. I accidentally snipped a part of the head, but I was able to glue it on, and then you can't even see it really. And then here's some of Tim Holtz washi tape that I put on there because this is very old paper, an old page from an atlas. So because of that, I put this on it for some reinforcement so it won't tear apart. And then I wanted to stamp the original year that Beatrix Potter made this book was in 1901. So that's why I stamped 1901 in there. So if anyone knows, I thought that would, it needed that, just like a little hidden extra in there. And then this is the back of a scrapbook paper, and so it was all white, and so it needed something. So at first I just distressed and made it blue, and then it just looked too bland. So then I found another napkin, and I was originally going to have it like this way, but then I thought, why not make a pocket here? And so the original way I was going to make it, I ended up moving it and putting it this way. And I was having better luck. Instead of tearing, which I do sometimes, you know, where you get it wet and then tear it. Instead, I was having fun just kind of fussy cutting it because it got more detailed to where I wanted it to tear. And since, you know, I already had my background blue, having the white part torn, it would be very obvious, and I didn't want that, so that's why I just went ahead and fussy cut it. And I really like that. It looked really cute. And so there's a little pocket here. Here's a scrap piece of scrapbook paper, and then I put some lace on there. And then here's some cards that I made. This was actually from a bigger index card, but I didn't like the way it turned out, so I actually cut it in half, and I think it looks a lot better that way because altogether it did not look good. The other half of it is towards the back of the journal. But yeah, it had carrots, and I colored them in. That was from the Garden Encyclopedia, which is actually right here next to me. It is huge. It's this big honker. The Garden Encyclopedia. And yeah, it is huge. I love all these little pages in here. There's just so much in here. So yeah, love it. I had to use that. And here's one of those little bunnies again from the Peter Rabbit book. Some little scraps from scrapbook paper, lace. That's one of Tim Holtz. And I think, yeah, I stamped one on there. I don't know why. It just needed something there. And then I first cut another one of those flowers out. It just looks really cute. And then in the back, I was just doing some fun little stamping and adding flowers and whatnot, because they actually look like these ones. So it kind of ties together. And then this was a scrap piece of the scrapbook paper. And then it has like that gold foil on it. So I used this new watercolor I got from a thrift store, and it's like powder and you put water to it to make it into paint or watercolor paint, and it looked really cool, and I did it like all on the edges, but once it dries it doesn't stay. It like flakes off, so I'm really disappointed with that. Like you can kind of see how it's like been flaking off. It didn't stay on there, so I'm kind of disappointed with that. And I've been trying to find something else metallic gold that I could add on there, and I haven't been able to find anything yet to tie it together. But anyways, I just actually did this yesterday. I did a little collage before. This was just blank, and I just had it in the back, but I'm like, you know what? I was bored and I needed to do something crafty because I haven't done anything crafty in a few days. So I fussy cut another one of the bunnies, the scrap piece of this paper, because I love that bunny so much. And then I added just a bunch of stuff. I did not do a video on this one, but yeah, there's the pattern paper on here again. I just tore a couple pieces off. This was a little sticker I got from the thrift store. This little bow and this flower is from these, which I get from a dollar store. Sorry, I had to turn the furnace off. It's super loud, but like I used this frame here. I actually fussy cut that up because it punches out, because then I cut the butterflies out because I didn't want that. I just wanted the frame, you know. There's like the flower. There's so much stuff in here. I love these little packets of embellishment. And then, yeah, I did that and that from there. And there's just an extra strip of the pink scrapbook paper. It just needed a little something behind it. I really like those stripes. It was just something fun and simple to use. And then here is the scrap piece of the napkin, because originally it was going to be this way up. And so that piece got cut off right here, and I added it on the back of this. And it's so cute. I really like the way that looked. Because yeah, originally it was like right here. So this was going to be the other way around. This was going to be up here, and this was going to be down here. And I ended up liking it this way more, so I could do a pocket here. And I used that extra piece on the back of this tag, so it'll all go together. And that just tucks right in there. There's the scrapbook paper. I made... This was from a really nice like doily, and I wish I cut this extra part here because it's so thick. That's one thing I regret that I should have done, but I didn't, which I didn't realize till afterwards because how much dimension it caused. But that's okay. But I glued it onto cardstock. It's an ivory cardstock, and then I cut these two corners because the center part of it, because it was only like half a circle. And so this was actually the scrap pieces of it, because the center of it I actually used to make a pocket, which is further in the back, which you will see. But this was the scrap piece, and I thought, oh, why not make more pockets out of it? Here is the center of the book. You can see the pillowcase that I used in between here. This is invitation cards that I got from Michael's when they had it on clearance. I thought that was really pretty with the leaves in there. I thought that could go in there for journaling on. I really wanted to use this page from the Garden Encyclopedia, but I couldn't find a way of using it. But it has all the cabbage in there. And you know how rabbits are with cabbage? That's why I had to use it. Yeah. So I put that in there. I folded it so that you could see the cabbages. Haven't figured out what to do with it, so that's why I have it in there. And then here is a little tag I made. I, you know, punched the edges. This is one of my dies. And then I fussy cut this squirrel out, and then this was the nuts that was underneath it, so I put it over here, and it looks perfect. It looks like he's like hanging down and trying to get his bag of nuts. And then I used a scrap piece of this scrapbook paper in the background, and then I used the die again to die cut some vellum paper to put over to tone it down a little bit so that the squirrel stands out more. And then just made a really cute bow and glued that down. I just think it's so cute. I love this one. It's a fun little tag to journal on. Oh, and this is like my favorite page. This was from a children's book, and it was about an owl making friends with all these different animals, like and birds and all this stuff, and it had beautiful flowers in here. And this was like one of the first pages, so I had to use that. I fussy cut it out, and I only glued here, here, and then here. And then I got another one of these flowers, and I made a tag out of it, and that's the name of the flower there, of course. But yeah, and then I distressed the back of it. But doesn't this look perfect at an angle like this? It looks like these flowers, like this is the stem to these flowers. That's what I kind of feel like. And that's why I love how it was like meant to be, like these flowers went perfect with those flowers. And that's why I like it at an angle like that. So it's just like stuck up in there. And it looks like they go together. I love it. Here you can see the Tim Holtz washi tape holding the encyclopedia, or this was the Atlas book. And this is like the population in each town of the states back then. It was in the 40s. And then I am debating about selling this one. I've never sold any of my journals yet, but I thought about doing it, and so I think I'm going to do this thing. I love this stamp. My husband actually found it for me. So I think this is going to be the first one that I sell. So each one of them I will have like a stamp saying which one it is. So this will be my very first one I sell. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I don't know if I'm going to save this at and sell it at like an art event thing that they do, arts and craft event, or if I should start making an Etsy account and try doing it that way. I'm sorry, baby woke up, so I had to go get her. So you might hear some squeakies. She's chewing on her banana, her toy banana. Here's the other side of the Atlas book. I had this fun tag that I made from scrapbook paper, and this is it's another die I have. I don't think it's not Tim Holtz. I think it's Momenta. Here's that very fine ribbon that I got. This was because the scrapbook paper, oops, is it not focusing? It was perforated here to tear out of, the pad of scrapbook paper. So that's why I put that ribbon there to reinforce it so it won't come apart. Distress the back of it and distress this as well. I really like how that looked. I found this fun lace, which I was thinking about using on the spine, but ended up not going that route. But this is where instead of using a stapler, see how I sewn that in by hand? I think I'm going to do that with the other tag as well, because I think I like that more. And then here is a strip of the scrapbook paper. This is one of the flowers I die cut, and I used some alcohol markers. This is actually another flower, but I cut a part of it off, the petals, to make it looks like grass. And then I punched this, or I die cut this little bumblebee out, and I actually used a scrap piece of this yellow ribbon to put behind and make the yellow stripes behind there, and I used some alcohol ink to add some blue to the wings. It's so cute. And originally the tulip, I colored pink at first, and I didn't like it, so then I put the purple over it, so you can kind of see the pink in the creases there. There's another page of the graph paper. There's some more stenciling. That was the one with the wildflowers. This is some peas, or green beans, string beans it looks like, from the Better Homes and Garden binder. And there's the whole enforcements I made. And then here is another journaling card. Those are like those planner journals, which I never did, but I like these cards because they really come in handy sometimes. And there's that same flower again. And so I distressed it, and then this is one of the pages. See what I mean? This is that page from the Garden Encyclopedia, and it looks like it's been burnt or something spilt on it, but I really like those colors going on. So I glued that on there. I made a little pocket out of 2 scrapbook papers. This one it was like a light pink and has like these colorful swirls on it, which actually I used that same paper to make a card recently for a very close friend of ours. And so yeah, I put that on top and made just like a little corner pocket. And then I used this die to cut this little frame out. And I did that to cut more of that scrapbook paper that I've been using for the pages. And I thought that looked great because it looked like, flowers in the back with this little owl which was from the original Better Homes, or not Better Homes, Peter Rabbit. Here's some more of that green cardstock that I was using, scrapbook paper. And I just used staple here with the pink ribbon and one of my slot punch. I really like that to add little embellishments on tags or little toppers. Here's a little collage I did, which I do know I did a video on this, so that will be in the description box below, and how I made sure that it said house there because of her in there. Here's some to and from cards that I paper clipped on here to journal on. I liked the purple in here and stuff. It just looked like it goes with this page, and so I put that on there. And there's another one with a hummingbird on this side. Here's more of the tissue paper. This is another one of the pages that were not destroyed in the original book. And then I was running out of room, but I don't know, I just kept adding more and more stuff on this. This is a little paper bag I got from Hobby Lobby, and I had to make a little pocket here. This little journal tag is from what is that, Park Lane at Hobby Lobby. They are glossy in the front, but they're matte in the back, so I distressed the back of it. You can journal on here if you have something that can journal onto that type of paper. Add some lace to it and just stuck it right in there. I think it looks so cute. I love it. And plus, you know, he's got yellow flowers here, and that has yellow rose there, so I thought it kind of went together. And this does flap open, so you can journal here. I glued some washi tape there so it'll stay and not come off to help enforce it. And then this is the other side. I did a little stamp here of a little bunny because of being Peter Rabbit. I had to do that. I think I did a video on this one. It turned out really cute. I had a lot of fun with these stickers. These big floral stickers I got from Hobby Lobby. I really like those. And I used some pink tissue in the background, some lace, and just all sorts of little odds and end things. This little quote is from this book of embellishments. And then inside the pocket is another one of these, which is from, oh, is it Joann's or Hobby Lobby that does Park Lane? I think isn't it Joann's that does Park Lane? Yeah, that's what it was, Park Lane. But yeah, it has little pink flowers, so I thought that kind of went together. So another little tag to journal. There can be lots more stuff fit in here. Here's another one of them, and this one can flip up, and so you can journal in the back of it. You can add a picture or journal more on here, whatever. And then journal on here, journal on here. And then, you know, pocket full of things you can put in there. Here is the other part of that page that had garden wall. Now it's talking about garden shelters, which made me think of, you know, the rabbit's shelter, you know, burrow under the tree. That's what kind of made me think of. Here's the little butterflies again. See, this one I used pink on one side, blue on the other. And I made sure that they had different length too. I didn't want them symmetrical. But they are so fun to play with. I think they're so cute. There's the shelter. I'm going to paint this with watercolor, but I don't know what happened to my watercolor paint. My favorite ones, I couldn't find it. Because I hurried up and put some white gesso down first, and then I was going to watercolor over it. So then I couldn't find my paint, so instead I just ended up getting some of my Prismacolor colored pencils and just doodled. I know it's not perfect, it's not great, but I was just having fun. And then I took some my ink pens and, you know, kind of like outline some parts and whatnot. Here is another one of the flips right here with that pretty lace on top. Another page from the book. And I did make sure that they were in order too, as the book goes, in number order. Tracing paper. There's that really cool line paper. This tag I really like. It was like meant to be. Like everything went together perfectly. What's the matter? No, you can't play with that. This green and white striped scrapbook paper I used for pages in this journal. Here's another one of those flowers, and I kind of lightly fussy cut it out. And I fussy cut, here's Peter Rabbit hiding inside of the watering can. Here's more of that pattern paper. And then here's more of that, my favorite doily, the name of the flower. What is it? Fringed Bleeding Heart. And it just looked like it was meant to be. And then so plenty room to journal in the back. Used a green paper clip. More to journal. There's cabbage. Here is another cute little tag that I made. I did a video on this one as well, so I'll add that in the description box below. All the details. I really like how that one turned out. A lot of Tim Holtz stuff. This is one of the Tim Holtz cards. And then, you know, this is from the book itself. I cut out his Peter's name. And that's like, you know, scrap another part of the page that wasn't drawn on. Yeah, it was really cute. I love how that turned out. Used the stencil again. I used wildflowers on that one. This is from another one of Tim Holtz collage paper. I fussy cut this flower out, and I really liked how that turned out. It went well with this yellow, I think. And see, here is the centerpiece of that doily that I used, and how I wish that I cut this part off because of how dimensional it is. And then, yeah, the corners. Where's the corners? Right here. See, these were the extra pieces that I cut off. I thought, well, since I use this, I might as well use this in it as well. But I should have cut that off. And again, it's onto that ivory cardstock so that, you know, you can put things in here and not get caught. And I have that onto the Atlas book. And then I went way overboard on this. I made like a trifold. And I end up keep adding more and more and more stuff on this, but it turned out so cute. Here's that fun scrapbook paper with the swirls on it that I used the scrap pieces actually to make that card for my friend. But I'll just slide this off. But this is a really fun die I have for a page. Isn't that so pretty? I did distress it a little bit. I like how it doesn't just cut. It also has like a little embossed flower in there, and you know, details in with the butterflies and the flowers. It's so cute. I love that. And then here I tied the pages in to see how it folds out like that. So cute. Here is that fabric ribbon I used again. I love the colors on it. It just went perfect with this. Here is one of my dies that I have. I did a bunch of them to use throughout this journal. And I colored it with some alcohol markers. I used a couple different greens. And I actually end up putting some clear embossing powder on it, so it kind of has a gloss to it. There's that green paper again I used. Benjamin Button, or not Benjamin Button, Benjamin Bunny. And then this I think was from the Garden of Encyclopedia. It said the garden, so I thought that looked nice there. More of Tim Holtz little things. I cut out some numbers from books and stuff. I like using those. And see, it's just so cute. This is an old index card because you can see the fading. Fun little stickers. I put that onto scrapbook paper. This says in the garden. It just looks so cute. The flowers and everything. It looked like it just all went together. I distressed back here. And I love these tabs. These are Tim Holtz, and I kept using them, folding them in half, and they look like they're like meant to be. I love using those. But yeah, this is more the dyed paper. These are the pages that I used in the center and had the butterflies in it, in the center of the signatures, where it looks like it's like I distressed it, but I didn't. It's naturally like that. This is one of the little birds from the book. I fussy cut that out, and there's like a scrap piece of a flower, a number, and like something for it to stand on. I was just using little tiny scraps that I had laying around. Here's another one of those flowers, and I used one of Tim Holtz flowers. I love these ones, but the only thing is that they're kind of glossy, and I don't like that. I wish they were matte, but I absolutely love all the flowers and butterflies that came in those. Here's another page from the Garden of Encyclopedia, and then here is the name of the flower. This is Coral Bells. It's this little journaling card to use there. And it kind of goes together. It looks like a bouquet of flowers. And it looks like, you know, that's like the extra pieces to put in there to go with it. It just looked like it was meant to be. There's some cauliflower. Another page. Here's those butterflies again. I used tinier ones this time. Let's see if I can separate these. I think they got tangled up. One sec. There we go. Aren't they so cute? They're the tiniest little butterflies. I put that on the end of the thread. I think these are pink on both sides. Yeah. And then here is another one of the strips from Tim Holtz. I fold in half. I love those. Oops, the butterflies in the way. Here is a little pocket I made. Here's more of that paper that I used on the inside here. And I found Floppy's name, so I had to put that on there. So that one's going to be Floppy, Peter's sister. And distress the back of it. It's just by itself. I didn't put it on anything. And then added some lace on the scrapbook paper and some flowers, which these flowers are actually Maggie Holmes little stickers. It's like a roll of flowers right here. I just used a couple of them. They're really cute. I really like these actually. And then this was, it just said blooms. This was from the Garden Encyclopedia 2. I was cutting little words out. That's Tim Holtz' little label from Field Notes, the tiny ones. But yeah, isn't that so cute? I love this. Here's Mopsy. Oh my gosh. And then, yeah, I was trying out a stamp that I got and was using these new markers that I got for Christmas from my aunt. And I distressed the edges too. So a little spot to journal. Little sticker I found and put that onto pink cardstock. And then it's this little tuck spot here and can still journal. It's so adorable. I love this. There's another one of the birds I cut out from the book. I just had way too much fun with this. So that tucks right into here. It's quite thick because I went way overboard. Because I add all those other pages to it. Here is another one of the birds that I fussy cut out. And then I fussy cut the big chunks. There's some teeny weeny parts that I didn't bother because there wasn't music notes on that, like in between here. But all the big pieces, you know, that had a lot of black writing on it because I didn't want the black to show through. So that I all fussy cut out of there. But I love these two little birds. And then there's a little piece here that I trimmed off, and I actually ended up deciding to just put it right here to add more detail. And it just goes together. Here's one of the numbers from it too. I thought, oh, I might as well add that because I thought it looked really cool from that collage paper. Here's a scrap piece of scrapbook paper. I think that was from Bo Bunny actually. I've had that for a long, long time. And it had little birds in it. And it had like the pinks and the blues and the greens that's kind of been going on in here that goes with this. So I thought it was meant to be. Here's the back of the scrapbook paper. So I used some pink distress ink to put on here so it kind of ties together. Here is the other piece of that index card that I did not like, and I told you I cut in half to see how it looked, and I liked it a lot better. Here's the other part of it. Here, see, because you know how I colored those carrots? Well, here's the part of the carrots. This was from an children's encyclopedia, and the leaves were so dark green, so I actually put some lace over it to tone it down a little bit. Here's my paper doily, some more lace. Here's that fabric ribbon that I really like with the flower. There's a part of the Peter Rabbit from the book, you know, Tim Holtz little stamps. That's the name of the flower that's in the other tag. It just worked. It just has so much random stuff going on. It was a fun little collage. And distress the back of it. Yeah, it looks better like this. And then the flowers actually go together too. I had a lot of fun with this. And then I found, it's in like a children's music book, but it's like wacky songs. And it actually said Little Peter Rabbit in here. So I had to put this page in here. I didn't know how to use it, so I just folded it up. It's tucked in here pretty good. And just folded it so you could read Peter Rabbit. And it's got the song in here. And then in the back it also talks about Little Peter Rabbit. It's like the words of the song in there. And then it has 3 green speckled frogs as well. And then here's 6 little ducks. But because of having little Peter Rabbit, I had to add it to this. And so yeah, so that's why I folded it like that, and then so that makes like a little pocket here, and then I just slid this inside of there, which actually I think I did it the other way, yeah, because I like this torn edge. So the straight part I tucked inside of here. I actually got this fold from Applebee's. Applebee's does this with the children's menu. This is what they do, and then they put the crayons in there. So that's how I got that idea of folding it that way. And so yeah, I just tucked that in there. And then this was a really fun tag. I did a tutorial on this one, and I had to use this piece because it says McGuire or McGregor's, which is the name of the farmer in Peter Rabbit books. And then this is an actual vintage piece from a, what was it, 1929 magazine. And I was trying to read up on copyrights and all that stuff, and it looks like it's got to be 1923 or later in order to do copies on it. And so this was 1929, so I don't think I could scan it. So I just cut it straight out of the book and used it because I really wanted to use it because of having his name in there. Here's another one of those fun stickers that I use, those big floral stickers. I really enjoyed using those. More of those little strips. And some more embellishments. There's Benjamin Bunny again. I just had a lot of fun. Here's some more of that pillowcase in the background. Another one of Maggie Holmes' little stickers, because she also has one that has all ribbons that I was using because it has that same coral look. I was going for coral and that like teal color. It just all went together. I had a lot of fun with that one. It made a little cluster in the back, and that goes in the back. And then, here's the back of it. Nothing fancy, but whoever ends up getting it can do whatever they want. But yeah, what do you think? This was a lot of fun. I just kept adding more and more and more on here. I added way too much. I made it way bigger than I wanted it to. But here's the spine of it. It has this nice lace on both sides, more of that yellow ribbon, and I sewn each button like individually, and then I glued them on. But yeah, I really like how that looks. But yes, and then here we'll just tie it all back together again. So what do you think? Should I try starting an Etsy account? And because I'm 50-50 with both of them, like if I should do it or not. Because that would be easier if I did Etsy, because then I can just sell one item at a time, compared to going to one of those arts and crafts shows. You got to make multiple things, you know, to make it worthwhile, you know. And so with my crazy schedule with my kiddos, like I wouldn't have to worry about that if I do it on Etsy. But the only thing is, you know, that I hate is having to ship it, because I'd rather give it to that person, that seller by hand, you know, instead of having to rely on shipping. So that's why I'm so 50-50 which route I should take. If I should save this and do a bunch more stuff and go to an arts event thing and sell it that way, or so it can be, like, you know, handed by the person by hand, or if I should start doing an Etsy account and sell it that way. I don't know. But if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and stay tuned to all the other projects I do and all the fun hauls that I share with you all. I will talk to you later. Bye.